Happy Friday! I'm the prop queen, Ariel Epstein, was on VSiN for 2 hours today. Then I went on MLB Network and I was on Baltimore radio, and now I'm here on the Prop Queen pod. I am so ready to shut the F up, sit on my couch tonight, not drink wine, watch some baseball, watch Premier Lacrosse, and sit with my puppy. I forgot to put eye drops in. My eyes look a little red. Reppin' New York Atlas Premier Lacrosse. This is like no joke. Their gear, if you go on their website and you get some of their merch, it's freaking awesome. Like New York or nowhere vibes, super trendy and really comfortable. It's kind of chilly here in New York today. So, New York Atlas, let's go tonight. I like to play in this, which I'll talk about in the Prop Queen Edges at the end. Too fancy for us anymore? What do you mean? VSiN? What do you mean too fancy for you? I'm here. I don't know what you're talking about. I just have to get paid, and I don't get paid by this yet. So I get paid by VSiN. So I do a show. I'm going to be back on Monday with Stormy Tony. So if you guys want to watch Money Moves, Monday, that's the day. But we've got guests. We've got great guests today. Mid-Major Matt, finally coming back to the show. We're going to talk some Major League Baseball props. He's got strikeout props. He's got earned run props. He's got an outs prop. And then at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be joined by Mr. Dream himself. Going to go through some WNBA action tonight. And I'm sure he'll have some stuff on the NBA as well after the NBA draft. So we'll get a good look into that too. Not a lot of viewers today. Freaking Friday, man. I guess people don't want to pay attention on a Friday to their best bets because they're all out and having a good time. But I'm going to tell you something that would be a great time. MGM Yonkers submitted its New York City area casino bid yesterday, bringing us to 8 bids for 3 available spots. That can include Times Square, Citi Field, Coney Island, the Bronx, Hudson Yards, Kips Bay, and Aqueduct. Okay. 3 available spots. If you're sending me to Coney Island, I'm going to kill you. Citi Field, I will kill you. Now, I get it. Being part, here's the one thing about it. Citi Field is an absolute nightmare to get to. It is so annoying. However, I feel bad for Mets fans. You have nothing to do. There's nothing to do out there at Queens except go to the game. Then there's like a bar downstairs that you could go to after the game, but like it's not open very late. Sometimes not open at all. So I get it for a Mets game, but then you're kind of losing everybody after baseball season. No one wants to go there. Ask the FanDuel Sportsbook. Like outside of the games at MetLife, no one likes to travel to Secaucus. You could, like a lot of old people go there in the day and watch ponies. And I'm sure for big games and big events, FanDuel gets packed at Secaucus, but like it's in the middle of nowhere. So if you were to have a casino in Times Square, that's fire. Probably also horrible for crime, but it would be a fire location. Hudson Yards, that's actually a really good location if you want money. If you want big money, not necessarily tourism, but if you want big money, you go to Hudson Yards. If you want stupid money, you go to Kips Bay because you'll have all the kids who just graduated college who all moved to Kips Bay. That's what you could get from it. Joe Quills over on Twitch says Aqueduct is ceasing live racing when the new Belmont opens in September 2026, but they have the Resorts World Casino. Hey, I'm telling you my top ones. Times Square, Hudson Yards, Kips Bay. Citi Field is fine, but it's seasonal. The Bronx, also like kind of annoying. It's easy for me to get to the Bronx, but like no one wants to travel to the Bronx. There's going to be too much crime up there. If you do this in the Bronx, you're going to have a lot of issues. There's like lots of crime in the Bronx. So I would be putting it in more secure locations for whatever that's worth in New York City. Times Square, very secure when it comes to tourism. But again, if you want like an absolute insane tourism spot, you could do Times Square. I think it would be pretty cool, but I don't know how long it would last because you're not getting the locals. If you want the locals and you want money, you go to Hudson Yards and Kips Bay because you're going to get the big money from Hudson Yards and you're going to get the stupid money from the college kids who just graduated in Kips Bay. That would be freaking awesome. Mohegan going to Kips Bay would be sick. And everyone knows what Mohegan is. So this would be really freaking cool. And I really hope it happens. I've actually been trying to get it to happen. Here's the thing. Casinos, are they legal in New York now? I know that you're talking about because it was all tribal. And now it's a very good question. And I have to like get somebody on to talk about it. But let's just say, obviously, clearly there is a way this could happen. And now I lost my train of thought, Sean. You threw me off. But with the casinos in New York, like, I know what I was going to say. What isn't legal and what I was trying to figure out with the situation with Citi Field and Steve Cohen, Hard Rock, Citi Field, it would have to be something outside of the stadium, because last I knew in New York, you weren't allowed to gamble inside a stadium. Like it was legal, but you couldn't gamble inside the stadium. So like the Yankees have Hard Rock next to their stadium. There's a Hard Rock Cafe attached to Yankee Stadium. I always said the best way to bring in more money is doing what they do like in Europe, where you have kiosks and people could bet. And like if you have a Hard Rock sports book that's attached to Yankee Stadium inside the Hard Rock restaurant, you keep it open after the game or before a game, whether it's a night game or a day game, whatever. You bring in so much more money. Imagine it's the fall and you want to go to a Yankees game, but there's football on. You go to a 7:00 Yankees game and you decide, I could go to the Hard Rock first, go watch football there, get into Yankee Stadium faster. Or vice versa, if there's like 4:00 games going on, you go to a 1:00 Yankees game, you could go watch that on Sunday after the game, or college on Saturdays. There's just so much more money that could come in if you have action going on. Now, it would hurt the bars outside, which is why Yankee Stadium probably isn't doing it, because there's a ton of stuff you can do around the Yankee Stadium. Citi Field, not so much. Citi Field needs things to do after a Mets game or before a Mets game. Obviously, people tailgate before a game, but like I think it would be huge if the Mets had it. Again, kind of seasonal though. It's great. I'm super pumped. For there to be a casino in New York, hell frickin' yeah, I would be going there. It'd be so much fun to watch games. I probably wouldn't go to Times Square. You guys could go. Anyone who's not from New York, you guys could go to Times Square. I'm out. No freaking shot. Mid-Major Matt's here, so I'm going to bring him on. I'm going to ask his thoughts as a non-New Yorker, what he thinks of this. Mid-Major Matt, welcome back to the show. If you now see that there is a casino coming to New York, where would you be most enticed to go?
Turning Stone? Just kidding.
No, come on. That's too far.
I'm just saying. I
might as well come to you in Washington than go to Turning Stone in upstate New York.
I'm just saying, it's the casino I frequented quite often. Well, me personally, none of those. I mean, I'm not a tourist, so I'm not going to go to Times Square. I'm done going to Mets games, so probably not Citi Field. Probably not the Bronx, as you were saying. So maybe I've never even heard of Kips Bay. I have no idea what that even is.
It's where all the college kids move to after college.
Okay.
So it's like the less expensive part of New York that's still kind of expensive, but it's like in the 30s. On the east side.
I mean, that sounds like the best place to go, because those kids want to burn their money and just bet on things and try and hit a parlay to win $1 million. So probably the best place to go would be Kips Bay, I'm guessing.
That's what I said. Kips Bay, best place to go to get stupid money. Hudson Yards, best place to go to get maybe stupid but rich money. So you get more bang for your buck at Hudson Yards. That's where the rich people are.
Okay, then one of those two.
Yeah, okay. We're on the same page. I think 3 places get it. So I'm pumped. If we get a casino, hell yeah, I'm going to be partying at the casino. I'll probably go once and then hate it and then never go again. But hey, we all got to go have our fun somewhere.
I mean, look, the casinos sound fun in theory. I mean, I used to go to Vegas, obviously, for March Madness for years. And then I was like, I don't know if I really want to get in a plane and fly out there and get up early and stuff like that.
I don't see you dying in Vegas, though, like I do.
Dying in Vegas? What do you mean? Not liking Vegas?
No, I don't see you doing stupid things like I do.
No. Well, but that's big because the NCAA basketball tournament begins so early in Vegas, you really can't stay out late unless you're just going to do an all-nighter.
What do you mean? Of course you can.
I mean, I'm not. I mean,
see, that's what I'm saying. So you don't wake up hating your life at 7 a.m, getting mimosas, a water, and a coffee because you stayed out till 3 playing blackjack.
Okay. Yeah, I don't do that. Yeah. And usually I just went with my dad. So therefore I really couldn't do any foolish stuff, out
Well,
in
I went with
Vegas.
Kelly.
Well, that
So
explains it. That's the
death,
first foolish thing.
death, death upon me. I don't go. I haven't gone in a couple years because it's death. But we decided to go to the Super Bowl, which was also death. So I haven't been to Vegas since Super Bowl when I got the flu. Anyway, no one cares about my life anymore. So let's get into your card today because we've got to talk Major League Baseball. It's been a while since you've been on the show. I'll start with your strikeout props. Nope, that's not your strikeout props. These are your strikeout props. I did look at Nick Martinez as well for his under 3.5 Ks. I wasn't sold on it though. So why were you sold?
So, I mean, it's a Padres thing. I mean, it's just, I have faith in the Padres. Now, the Padres have started to strike out a little bit more, especially against righties. I mean, Seth Lugo had 7, Yamamoto had 5, Sheehan had 6 in his first start of the year. So, like, they are starting to strike out a little bit more. But Nick Martinez has made 2 straight bullpen appearances. He's thrown 2 innings in 1 inning. His last start came on the 19th, so that's 8 days ago. On the one hand, you could say, well, how long is he going to go? On the other hand, you'll say he's really fresh. Maybe he can go longer. But this is just kind of I have faith in the Padres thing more so than anything else. If it wasn't the Padres, I probably wouldn't take the under, but we know how good they are contact wise, and everybody outside of maybe Martin Maldonado should do well for me tonight.
Martinez went under in 4 of 7 starts against low K rate teams against righties. So at least a little bit more to the under on Martinez. I just was a little bit nervous about the Padres, but you're right. Martinez doesn't necessarily stay in games long enough. Landon Rupp, also, you like his over 4.5 Ks. The White Sox, they average 4.8 strikeouts a game, more unders than overs against righties. So why is Rupp going over?
So this is one of those situations also where you look at the numbers have skewed heavily to the under, but they're still averaging 4.8 strikeouts per game against right-handed starting pitchers. And if you look at the recency, Ryan Nelson had 7. Like, that's a lot for Ryan Nelson. Bassett had 7. Michael McGreevy, I think it's Matt McGreevy or Mike McGreevy. He had 5 in 5 innings. So, like, you kind of look at the recency factor here for the White Sox. I mean, Kumar Rocker had 6. He's getting better, but like Ryan Gusto had 7. Lorenzen had 7. So it's one of those things where you look at Landon Roop and what he's done so far this season. He's been better with regards to the strikeouts. Just came off having 7 against the Red Sox. On the road, he had 7 in Detroit. He also played a lot of pitched against a lot of high contact teams. He had 3 in Minnesota. Of course, he's not going to get a lot in Minnesota. He had 4 in Chicago. Of course, he's not going to get a lot in Chicago. He had 4 in San Diego. So, like, those are 3 teams right there that don't strike out a lot. So, of course, the numbers make it look worse than they are. But the White Sox are striking out a lot lately. So I took a chance with Landon.
Speaking of Chicago, you like an over against them, plus 130. The Cubbies, they did start the year as a low K rate team. They still pretty much are against righties, but lefty-righty splits, we always talk about them, and Brandon Walter's a lefty. How can he take advantage of the Cubs today?
So Brandon Walter is interesting because he's had 4 high strikeout starts, but he's also faced the Angels, Twins, Guardians, and Rays, all who are not good against left-handed starting pitchers. You could kind of throw the Cubs in there a little bit. If you look, 4.65 strikeouts per game against left-handed starting pitchers so far this season. And if you look at the recency factor, Liberatore, 5. Heaney never gets strikeouts. He is a low strikeout guy for the most part. He had 7 in Wrigley Field. You look at Gore had 7. Abbott had 8. Our guy Lodolo had 5 and 6. This is a Cubs team that have struggled a little bit more against left-handed starting pitchers. And so as I kind of note on like my Twitter account, like, this is a price play. I mean, I'm getting a guy who gets a lot of strikeouts at plus 130 against a team that has shown it can strike out a lot against lefties. It's probably not going to win, but at plus 130, I have to take a shot at it. If it was minus 110, minus 115, I'm probably not playing it, but plus 130, I think it's worth a sprinkle tonight.
While we're on the strikeout prop conversation, I'll run a few by you because we haven't spoken about them yet today. And you gave me the ugh when I told you. People who are tuning in now, I'll just tell them to you and then I'll rehash this again later on. I like Jose Quintana tonight, Matt. He's got a 4.5, 14 straight lefties. 14 straight lefties have gone over 4.5 Ks against the Rockies. I've got to ride this trend. Kershaw hit it yesterday, and he hasn't had 5 strikeouts or more in Colorado since 2020. This game's at home, too, in Milwaukee, by the way.
So Quintana just had 1 against Minnesota, and Minnesota basically swings at pitches before you even throw them against lefties. They average almost 6 strikeouts per game against lefties. He had 4 against St. Louis, 4 against San Diego, 3 against Philadelphia, and 3 against the Rays. The Rays,
6
another
against
team.
St. Louis also in the other start.
You're right. That is correct. In St. Louis.
And 6 against the Cubs.
Right, which is another reason why we like Brandon Walters over today. I can't trust Quintana. I think he's more of an outs guy in terms of his outs over. But even so, like, he started out eating innings, and now he's just not doing it as much. A couple of 5-inning starts recently, a 4 1/3 inning start. So, like, I don't know. It's more one of those things like I have to see it from Quintana before I actually take it. I get your reasoning.
No, you just have to get Quintana on the right day. Even if you see it, it might not happen again tomorrow. But, like, obviously not tomorrow, but you know what I mean. If you see it today, it might not happen his next start. You just got to get him at the right time.
Right. He is all over the place. Like, I'm looking at last year, there's starts where he had a lot and there's starts where he had very little. And so, like, you'll know early. Like, if that first inning there's a strikeout or two, you're in good shape. If that first inning there's a lot of contact, or if he gets in trouble a little bit and starts racking up the pitch count, then you might be in trouble. I like Quintana more usually for the outs, and even that he's not doing lately.
If anyone's watching with the chat, this is the time to chime in and ask questions about Major League Baseball props, because Matt touches on way more markets than I do. I just really focus on strikeouts, but Matt does any kind of pitcher prop. So definitely ask questions. M. Rojas asking Freeland over 3.5 Ks. What do you think?
Freeland off an injury. He is, and that for that, that's a non-starter for usually for you and I. If you go off of the numbers by themselves, Milwaukee strikes out a lot against lefties, 5.52 strikeouts per game against lefties. But, Heaney just had 3. Chris Sale had 11. Abbott had 6. So, like, they're kind of all over the place. But yeah, anytime you got a guy off of IL, I assume he's going to go 5 innings. Probably will go 5 innings, but I just never like playing an over with a guy coming off the IL.
I have another play, but an under. Jose Soriano, under 5.5 Ks. He went under in 3 of 5 against low K rate lineups. He's getting the Nats. 9 of the last 10 righties went under 5.5 Ks against Washington. How come you don't like him?
Well, first off, I lost with Pivetta the last time out. And so for the most part, I do not go back to the well 2 times in a row. So that was the first thing. Second thing, it almost just seems like somewhat the same matchup. I mean, Pivetta is a high strikeout guy who was having some lower efforts against the higher contact lineups. Soriano just had 10 against Houston and 12 against the Athletics at home. And then sandwich that in between 6 in New York against your Yankees. So, like, I see it. I get it. It's a long road trip, though. And so, like, I'm kind of scared when it comes to the Nats. They're on the West Coast. They had 5 against May. They had 5 against Kolek, who's not really a strikeout guy. So I wouldn't want to see Alex Call in the lineup. I wouldn't want to see, James Wood struck out a couple times, I think, yesterday. He's a guy who's been strikeout prone lately as well. But I can't do it. Soriano's in a hot stretch right now when it comes to Ks. And so, like, you kind of notice when he does well in that situation, he keeps going for a couple starts.
Last strikeout prop for me, and then we'll get to your other props. Yankees righty, Will Warren, over 6.5 Ks. I saw minus 120 range earlier today. Warren's having a sneakily good year. He's gone over this in 3 of 4 against high K rate teams, including his best start of the season, 7 Ks, 7 1/3 against the Athletics. The A's, 4 of the last 6 have gone over 6.5, Matt. That is a high number for 4 of the last 6 pitchers to go over.
Yeah, that is a high number. I don't have a great feel for Warren so far this season. I'm still mad that he pitched so badly against the Dodgers back in last month. He's a guy who should go over. Matt. He's got nasty stuff. Warren did have 7 strikeouts against the Athletics back on May 9th. So that's something to kind of consider here. Who knows how long he's going to last? He's gone 6 innings the last couple starts, so that kind of works.
And they were off yesterday, so the Yanks do have arms available.
Right. So that's a good thing because we know that occasionally your manager loves taking guys out too early at times, especially the younger guys. Just ask Clark Schmidt. I'm sure he can tell you several times
Stop,
he's
that's
had
a sore
plenty.
subject, and I'm sure he's fine with it because he needed an extra day's rest, but I was not fine with it at the no-hitter. That didn't happen.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, that's just what
I'm still
Aaron Boone
angry.
does. You got to
I mean,
keep. You
I
got to
knew he
keep
was
your.
only gonna probably go 8, but at least we had a better chance of the no-hitter if we only needed a reliever for 1 inning.
Okay, but like if you're worried about a no hitter, like the Yankees have
I was
larger
only
things to
worried because
worry
I
about.
wanted to be at one. I didn't
Okay.
care if I was watching it on TV. No-hitters are not cool anymore, but, like, to be at one's cool.
Well, wait. So it's not cool to watch on TV, but it's cool to be there?
Yeah.
Did you have a ticket stub or was it like an automated thing? Like, are you
There's
just
no more ticket stubs.
okay? Well, I'm just saying, like, if you had a ticket stub that
It's for
showed you
my
were there,
own it's for my a ticket stub for a no-hitter is not making you money.
okay. Well, neither is you
It's
being
not
there.
about the money always, Matt. It's
I
about
didn't say
the
it was about the money. I
experience.
mean, you could sell the program with the ticket stub, but that's another thing. Like, okay, all right, so you're bitter about the no hitter. That's fine. But like,
I
I
just
haven't
would
had
have
a good
liked to have
feel with
seen it.
one.
It would have been cool.
Okay. Well,
Are you
uh,
leaving a game if there's a no-hitter?
no, I don't leave games anyway.
But I'm saying, the game was out of hand. It was 9-0 Yankees. I just wasn't going to leave if there was a no-hitter.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't leave anyway. I mean, baseball games are 9 innings, and people pay enough money for these baseball games that they should stay all 9 innings.
I used to agree with that. I agreed with that, and my grandpa, may he rest in peace, Papa Marty knows that when that man made me leave a Yankees game in the 9th inning with the Yankees down 4 runs, and I'm pretty sure they were being shut out. I think they were down 3. I think it was 3-0, whoever they were playing. I forget. Old Stadium. Jason Giambi hits a walk-off grand slam as we're trying to get out of the parking lot. And I told my grandpa in that moment, we will never, ever, ever leave a Yankees game early again. And we really never did, because if I ever let him leave early, he would have given me so much crap because he'd be like, oh, you're a jaded person now because you work in sports. But now that he passed away and it was 9-0 Yankees, yes, last time, like that game, I was like, meh, I'll go home.
No, see, I get it. My dad and I left early from an Orioles-Phillies game in Baltimore because it was a long trip home, and the Phillies came back
Right.
and won. So like that was disappointing. But we also were not in the same city, so we had a long way to go home. And he was driving, so obviously I couldn't say anything because I couldn't drive at the
And I
time.
was
But yes,
pissed off at Aaron Boone because he pulled Clark Schmidt. And Gary Sanchez ruined the no-hitter out of all freaking people.
one of your favorites, all-time
He
Yankee
still can't
great.
run out of the box. Still doesn't do it.
He's a
Still doesn't
catcher.
run.
Most
Anyway,
catchers can't run.
let's get to your other props. Cade Horton over 15.5 outs. Why is he staying in the game?
I mean, it's the Astros. I mean, the Astros are one of these teams that you're going to get your 5+ innings from. And, Cade Horton this year has shown a couple of times. Now, look, there's not a lot of data points, but he threw 5 2/3 against the Pirates. He threw 5 1/3 in Washington against the Nationals. This is an Astros lineup that, remember, I think a lot of people are focused on the fact the Phillies scored 1 run in Houston, but Houston only scored 5 runs like in that whole series. So it's not like this is a hot offense right now. So whenever I get a chance to take an outs over with a guy who can prove that he can go long, the Astros opponents are averaging 5.45 innings pitched against Houston. That's one of the highest numbers in the league right now. So the Astros don't take a lot of pitches. They just go after everything, it feels like. So I'm going to take a shot. Once again, even money plus price. I'm going to take a shot on Cade Horton's over.
I was absolutely shocked that you were taking a Dustin May prop. You don't like Dustin May.
I don't like
him.
Dustin May. I don't think I don't hate Dusty May. I don't. I might if he loses tonight, but like this Royals offense is horrendous. Like they didn't score a run against starting pitching last series against the Rays. If you go back pretty far against right-handed starting pitchers, like they score a lot of 1-run games, 2-run games. Dustin May is terrible, and I actually wrote that up in my write-up on my Twitter account. Like I'm like, I don't like Dustin May, but this is a Royals lineup that's ice cold. Plus, weather could be a little bit of an issue mid-game. Maybe that gets him out a little bit early, and then I don't have to worry as much. So, yeah, I get it. I don't like Dustin May, but this is just a situational play against an ice cold offense right now.
I'm curious how this series is going to play out, because if the Royals get rocked by the Dodgers, that's going to be massively concerning to me. But if the Royals can keep pace, then I'll at least think that the Royals are like not necessarily on life support. But huge disappointment this year, aside for the Orioles, is the Kansas City Royals, which, Matt, everyone and their mother was on it, any kind of Royals preseason future, and you kind of just knew between them and the Red Sox, it was too much hype.
Yeah, I mean, and for good reason. You look at that rotation; it's pretty good. I wonder, and I start seeing some talk from like some of the baseball people who cover the sport that they might trade Chris Bubich if they can get some young hitters or some
I
young
don't
players.
want him, but not that the Yankees need a lefty. But no.
He's not terrible. I think he would be good, but the problem is what you're going to have to pay to get him. You're going to have to pay something
Not
decent
worth
to
it.
get him because he's so young. Well, he's 6-5. He's a 2.18 ERA. How is
I know
he
he's
not
finally having a good year. I never trusted him before this year.
Okay, but he's also 27 years old. You give him some room to learn and improve.
First impressions last.
It's true. We only look at a person or only look at a player in the
When
very
I'm
first
betting
thing
your
we
team
see.
total over on the road for a full season, making good money off of it, I don't think it's easy for me to trust you.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying he's 6-5. He's got a 1.13 whip this season. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. I think there's a lot of teams that would take him. It's just what's the price? Are you going to have to give up two prospects that you probably – it also depends on like where you are. If you're a contending team, he'll probably be a Dodger. Let's be honest. The Dodgers trade for everybody, so he'll probably be a Dodger.
Well, if he's a Dodger, then he'll probably do well. So that's the one place I wouldn't mind. That or Houston. Speaking of the Dodgers, Matt, tomorrow, Shohei Ohtani is back on the mound against these struggling Royals. What do you think in the K-prop's going to be?
So I'm going to guess they're going to let him go 3. So I'm going to guess his number is going to be 3.5 juice to the under.
Would you take it?
No. No, the one thing the Royals have done, well, for the most part, outside of yesterday where they had 9 strikeouts against Boz, they've been pretty good contact-wise. They're sub-4 against right-handed starting pitchers. No, I don't think I would. I think you'd have to give me a 2.5, and I'd consider the over, but at 3.5, I'd probably look at the under, although it's going to be heavily juiced to the under. That's just my guess.
Anything on tomorrow's slate stand out to you?
I mean, obviously, it's going to be interesting to see what the Phillies do. I mean, it's just that the offense is terrible. And when the Phillies offense is terrible, it's usually terrible for a decent stretch. So when we see, and I'm looking to see here, Schwellenbach tomorrow. Schwellenbach's had some good numbers against the Phillies for his career. I'm going to guess that his number is going to be a little bit higher, although he's had some starts where he's not striking out as many people. And that's sad because I have his season total over on his strikeouts, like a 143.5, I think it was. I forget what book I got that at. So I need him to start striking out more people. But the Phillies offense is ice cold right now. And when they're ice cold, they struggle as a whole. By the way, the new guy to kind of look at and their pitches under, and I haven't seen this yet, but I heard the stat on sports radio today. Nick Castellanos has swung at the first pitch in 24 of his last 31 at bats. Now, that's not to say that he's put it in play all of those times, but maybe he's the next guy that we look at the pitches under, especially if it's 3.5.
For anyone that doesn't know what you're talking about, in case they missed it, just explain this little trend that you've started to spot.
So it's gone cold since it started. I mean, it started out really hot. It was like 12-3, 11-3, the first 3 games I started tracking it. But Alec Boehm is in the top 15 for the fewest pitches seen in an at-bat. And for the longest time, DraftKings puts up 3.5 pitches for his at bat. You can bet the over or the under. FanDuel has it too, but I do it on DraftKings. And he is a guy who doesn't look at a lot of pitches, and so I've been hitting it. It gets hot and cold. There's certain pitchers that he waits around on. If you've got wild guys, you probably don't want to take the under, but Alec Boehm under 3.5 pitches for a decent stretch was a good wager. Now it might be Nick Castellanos' under, whatever that might be.
Ooh, okay. Well, look, and tonight I know he does have a pretty good matchup. I saw that he's got 3 home runs against Bryce Elder through 6 at-bats in his career. So maybe he'll be jumping at the bit to try to get a homer off of him tonight. Mid-Major Matt, thank you so much, as always, for joining the show. I will see you next week.
Yes, sounds good.
Great. Have a good weekend.
See ya.
Coming up now, you guys know him. You've been asking for him. You always ask for these WNBA props, and we're going to talk WNBA. We're going to talk NBA drama because there's a ton of drama throughout the basketball world. And you guys know when you ask for guests to come back on, when you're hyped up about these guests that do come on and you want them back, we get you back. So here he is, my good friend, who I am so glad now is coming on the show again, Mr. Dream. What is up?
Hey Ariel, I am greatly honored to be back on this show. Love the work you're doing here. Hope all is well with you. Let's get to some money.
Before we get to some money, I want to talk about the NBA because there is some drama going on after the draft. Thoughts on players like Ace Bailey who don't want to go to teams getting drafted inside the top 5?
All right, everybody, take it easy on Ace, man. Take it easy on Ace. So I've been super busy today, handicapping, running errands, but I happened to see a video of the guy that's representing Ace, and I just think the guy's getting some bad advice. Yeah, his agent does not look like not don't want to say he's not the most knowledgeable guy, but maybe he's not doesn't have all his ducks in a row. Maybe his priorities aren't in the right place. So I think it's very strange for Ace, who's not even like now maybe he will be the best player in the draft. I doubt it. Maybe he will, but he's not like a a Zion Williamson or like a can't miss #1 overall prospect. For him to be acting this way is a little strange, but hopefully some vets or some people he respects, like I know he likes Tracy McGrady a lot. Hopefully like one of those guys gets in his ear and tell him like, man, either drop that representation or start speaking up a little more for yourself, because this is not how you want to get started in the league. And unless you are awesome, they're gonna have him out the league in like 3-4 years just because of the way he's starting. So obviously not smart. Hopefully he's there for summer league, because I think it's a real good fit in Utah.
I feel like we've got to be taking unders on his props from here on out. Like if you're not inspired to play for your team right off the bat, gotta fix you.
Yeah, he's definitely got to show us something before we're hammering those overs for sure.
Let's take a look at for tonight's slate in the WNBA. First off, do you even think that Caitlin Clark's playing tonight? Do we know?
No, I don't think. Now I think she was officially ruled out. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she's officially been ruled out.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's not playing tonight.
So I guess then before we even get to all of these, how does that change the way that this Fever game is going, especially because it should have been Caitlin Clark versus Paige Becker?
Oh, yeah, that would have been magical. That would have been great to bet on them. I definitely think Cece would have got out of her slump tonight against Paige. But yeah, now, a game that should have easily went over, or definitely would have looked to bet over, you got to look to take the unders. We've seen how Indiana struggles. I mean, they've been struggling with Caitlin Clark lately, but without her, nobody can get Aaliyah Boston the ball. And it's really about Kelsey Mitchell, boom or bust. I mean, I hate to look toward the under in a Dallas Wings game, but their defense has improved recently, and that's why I would have to look. I mean, yesterday, for instance, we had the Sparks and the in the Fever, and the Fever also on the back-to-back, but you had the Sparks and the Fever. That total got as high as 174.5. And then when the CC news came out that she wasn't playing, it got as low as I think 166, and that game flew way under the total. And that's again with a team like the Sparks, who likes to push the pace and they don't play any defense. So similar to this Dallas game. So I will be looking toward the under, but more importantly, I would have to look at Dallas. I can't trust Indy. I really can't trust them. They're not playing well, and they're on a back-to-back. Dallas is sitting there waiting for them, and I would think that Paige Becker's in her first game against a Caitlin Clark-led team would not want to lose to that team without Caitlin Clark. So I would have to look toward Dallas and maybe a lean toward the under as well.
Yeah, I saw that line was Fever -5.5 pre-CC news. So that being 5.5 a few days ago is pretty crazy now that it's down to Fever -1.5 against the Dallas Wings tonight. You've got props, though. Good prop card for us. So let's talk Alyssa Thomas over rebounds plus assists. Why?
Yeah, so this is the best of both worlds. So Alyssa Thomas is the triple-double threat. Now I think Caitlin Clark's getting there. But before CC, the triple-double threat in the W was Alyssa Thomas. She's just known as an all-around player, a PRA killer. She just played this Liberty team and had 7 assists and 15 rebounds. And the 7 assists, she had a bunch of potentials. The team was on a back to back, and their best scorers, Kalia Copper, didn't play that game, and Satu Sabli didn't shoot well that game. So a lot of meat left on the bone for her assists, and the 15 rebounds are there. Well, that's what she had, and I think she can get close. Maybe not 15, but all we need is 8, 9. And I think this will breeze past this line. If you look at the last 5 opponents that have played the Liberty, like lead ball handler types, all right. So you got Veronica Burton, for the Valkyrie with 10 assists. She's a point guard, and AT's a point forward. So Veronica Burton, 10 assists, 5 rebounds. Gabby Williams, point forward, point, small forward, shooting guard, whatever, but she tends to have the ball in her hands a lot if it's not Skylar Diggins. 10 rebounds, 6 assists. I already talked about Alyssa Thomas, and I'm sorry, Gabby Williams had 10 assists and 6 rebounds. I talked about Alyssa Thomas with 7 assists and 15 rebounds against this Liberty team 3 games ago. You had Ryan Howard, who's not necessarily a pass first guard, more of a shoot first guard, but she can stuff the stat sheet as well. She had 9 assists and 7 rebounds. And for some reason, I can't read my own writing. But somebody before that had 9 assists and 8 rebounds before that. I could go look really quickly, but that's besides the point. So it's a really good matchup. Also, I do like Phoenix to win this game. Alyssa Thomas they call her the engine. So she's the player that everything revolves around. Okay, so Phoenix, they've only lost 1 game this season with her on the floor. I think they've played 8 games. They've only lost 1 game this season. They've won 6 in a row with her, including just beating this Liberty team off of a back-to-back in New York. No Jonquel Jones tonight. No Leonie Fibich. New York is not the same defensive team without those 2 anchors. So, well, especially with Jonquel Jones being an anchor. So I think Alyssa Thomas is going to have free reign. I think Phoenix scores 80 plus points tonight. And I think that coincides with Alyssa Thomas flirting with a triple-double. So definitely give me her rebounds and assists.
Yeah, it's the highest total on the board tonight at 168 on FanDuel. Everyone else, 166, 150 range. So I think it's pretty telling that we should be looking at some overs tonight in that Liberty Mercury game. Lynx Dream. The Dream are getting 3.5 at home. You've got Brittany Griner under 13.5 points plus rebounds. Why?
So, I was wondering, I tweeted a couple weeks ago, Brittany Griner may be washed, and I don't like the cash dispersions. So I waited a little while. And
she's been in the league a long time. I covered her when I was just out of college in 2016.
Wow. Yeah, she has. So yeah, she's definitely been in the league a really long time, a veteran. And I just got off my stream with my guy Stephen Flo Rival. Shout out to my guy Flo. And he was just saying he thinks she's battling a knee injury. She did miss some time earlier this season with a knee injury. And she's back, and she does not look good. Her last 2 games, 18 and 18 minutes. And it's not like these games were blowouts where they couldn't use her. A combined 2 of 7 from the field. She's just not looking to be aggressive. You add that with the Lynx, who, when they're right, they're the best defensive team in the league. It's just going to be tough sledding for Brittany Griner. Now, this is a really, really, really low line. It's actually even moved down to
13.5 PR. It's very low.
Very low. It's moved down. I just went back to check because if I'm giving you guys something, I want to make sure it still stands. It's down to 12.5. I'd still take it for a half a unit. This is just a play from a player that's just out there. She's just running around. She's not having much ran for her. And when the offense is ran for her, she's looking to pass out of it. She's not looking to shoot. So it's super low, but she's not looking to score. She is not a good rebounder for her size. You know, she has had a few good games with 5, 6 rebounds lately, and that's a good game for her rebounding. She's not a girl player that's going to go out and get you double-digit rebounds generally. So her low minutes, her possibly being injured, with the fact that she has not been playing well lately, added to that, you got the Lynx, who are a really good defensive team. You got Jessica Shepard, who's got size and can defend. You got Elena Smith, who's got size and can defend. And each of these girls, especially Elena, she's going to pull you from the lane. So Brittany Griner's not going to be down there banging against some post player able to just grab easy rebounds. She's going to have to guard Elena from the 3-point line, and she's probably not going to want to get out there. So Elena Smith could be a nice pivot as well for the Lynx. But yeah, less chances for rebounds. I don't think she's going to be aggressive on offense. So I know it's really tight. I know it's really low, but just trust me on it. Half a unit under Brittany Griner, her 12.5 points and rebounds right now.
I'm pretty shocked that this Lynx money line and a Storm first half money line parlay is only minus 127 because the Storm are laying 19.5 against the Connecticut Sun. So why such a drop off in the first half? Like, why the first half?
So this is honestly a Lynx play. MVP is coming back, Nafisha Collier, and she's going against an Atlanta team that is, I just think they're overrated. We bet them early in the season, and they were good to us. But what I've noticed is when they play competition, they tend to kind of falter when they play competition, except for Seattle. But aside from that, they falter when they play competition. I'm looking at a Lynx team who's probably the best team in the league, if not their second, behind the Liberty, getting their best player back. They've been playing well without their best player. They're a defensive-minded team who can play offense as well. So when I saw fee being ruled in and the line, which was Atlanta -2, be flipped to a Lynx -3.5, I wanted to find a way to be on the Lynx. I could have laid the 3.5, but I just thought it would be a little easier just to take the money line on ESPN Bet, which was a -170. It's also a -180 on FanDuel. Now, obviously, we're not laying -170 at all. So I'm looking to bring that juice down to something playable. What's something that I think is almost, there's no guarantees in this, but something that I love a lot, why wouldn't you, is the Seattle Storm tonight as a 20-point favorite going against one of the worst teams we've seen in the W in years. I don't know what's going on in Connecticut. No Mabry. It's just not a good thing. It's not a good thing right now in Connecticut. So this is one of the worst matchups that you can get if you're the Connecticut Storm team without a point guard. You got a rookie in Sonya Rivers, and you got Bria Hartley, who's happy to be back in the league, but she's not anybody that you want to trust running your team. The Storm are going to trap, they're going to run out, and this is going to get ugly really, really fast. With that being said, I just think the Storm can be winning at the end of the first half. I think the Storm are going to win this game by possibly 25, 30 points. I'm not going to bet that, but that's what I think can happen. So I felt the easiest way to bring this down was to take the Storm first half money line, which is like a -800. So obviously you don't want to bet that alone, but it's a pretty good juice reducer, parlay piece to put with another play that you really like. So that's how I got there with that.
Hey, I don't mind any kind of 2-leg parlay at -127. I love any kind of -120 teasers in the NFL. So that's what I do 2 legs on as well. I think that it's great value there for what you're getting at -127. What happened to these other parlays that you were doing? What was the whole thing you were doing with the parlays? Remember you came on the show last and you said like you bet these parlays and you try to win the $5.
Yeah. Okay.
What's happening?
Yeah. Oh, so bad. So we got to step 4, and we're going to complete this challenge. But yeah, so like the challenge, there's like a 10-day 10K challenge, which is like super popular on Twitter. A few people that I know have completed it, and I just don't have the patience for that. So I want to do a 5-day 5K challenge, so I can start off with like $20 and we do plus 200s. And if you do that 5 days in a row and you hit it, it'll get you to around $5,000, depending on, if it's a, plus 220s, plus 210s, whatever. So I think that was the only play I came on the first time that I missed, and we got hooked on somebody. Hurt us with that. It might have been Kayla with her rebounds. Kayla throwing rebounds. But yeah, I have not yet done it. I've not yet put it together yet because I'm still waiting on a little bit of news to drop it. I need to do a little more handicapping before these games start here in the next 2 hours. But yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter, Mr. Dreamy1, the number 1. And every day we're at it, man, trying to do a challenge. Again, last week we got all the way to step 4, which was hitting 4 plus 200s in a row. And we lost there. So it was tough, but yeah, something I like to do to keep the engagement on the timeline, and my followers, they like doing it. And I wouldn't do it just to throw money away. Trust me. I feel confident that we can complete the challenge. So yeah, I love doing it. It's a little 5-day 5K challenge.
Make sure to follow him over at Mr. Dream One. That's the #1 on social media. He crushes it. I love having you on this show. We're going to have you on all summer long as you're willing to do it, because getting the W, some love is what we need here. And everyone here in the chat loves betting W props. Dream, thank you as always for coming on. Good luck with those bets tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me, Ariel. Appreciate the audience. And I just want to say, I'll be on for Summer League too. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's where,
yeah.
There's a lot of money to be made in Summer League, and we're going to be fading Ace Bailey.
Yeah, that's what made me think. Ace Bailey under. First Summer League game in Utah. Either under or he's maxing the ladder. It's one of the two. It's one of the two.
Even if he's maxing, we're going under on the second game. Come on. Like, it's not going to be consistent at all. When does Summer League start again?
I think next Saturday.
So soon already.
I think next Saturday.
Ace Bailey's agent is going to be fired up in Vegas.
Yeah, they got to, I don't know, man. Come on, guy. They got to get him out of there. They got to get him. 7-7. So, yeah, that's 10 days. So, yeah, maybe next Saturday, next weekend. So, yeah.
So, we're going to be talking Summer League. We're going to be talking WNBA. Who says that summer sucks for betting? It doesn't.
Nope.
It doesn't stop. Dream, thank you so much as always, and everyone go follow him at Mr. Dream One to see what he's going to do tonight for that special parlay. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks for having me.
My turn. Okay, we've got some Major League Baseball to get to, then we'll get to some PLL. Let's get to Fishy Lines. Fishy line of the day. The New York Mets have a 20-cent move against them despite the public. 84% of bets, 89% of money backing the Meties. First of all, if you know anything about reverse line movement, you know that it's all about backing and fading teams in good and bad spots. This is a horrible spot for the New York Mets, who just had to play the Atlanta Braves, their division rival, split the series, won the final 2 games, the Mets, but the Mets threw 4 bullpen arms yesterday because Griffin Canning smashed his Achilles. He was out after 2 2/3 innings. So the Mets had to throw their bullpen yesterday. They threw a bunch of arms again on Wednesday. So with Manaea Senga and McGill on the IL, the Mets bullpen is completely taxed. Dylan Peterson, that's my brother's friend's name. David Peterson is on 4 days rest. Mitch Keller's actually been pitching really well this year. He's got 11 quality starts. The problem is that he gets 2.1 runs of support from his lineup, the worst in Major League Baseball. As long as the Pirates can score some runs, I mean, I like the Pirates tonight. I do. I like them on the money line. It's a fishy line, and it is a great spot to fade the New York Mets after just having to face the Atlanta Braves. So that is your fishy line of the day. Strikeout props to watch. I've got 3 for tonight. Unfortunately, that's like pretty low, but Will Warren over 6.5 strikeouts up against the Sacramento Athletics, temporarily Sacramento. I know it's a high number, but Warren's had at least 7 strikeouts in 3 of 4 starts against high K rate lineups. He had 7 against the A's earlier this year, had 7 against Colorado, 11 against the Angels, 6 against the Red Sox. 4 of the last 6 righty starters to face the A's went over 6.5 Ks. That's a high number for 4 of the last 6 to go over. The only thing that scares me is, like I always tell you guys, I don't like to bet the same thing to happen twice. So since Warren did this against the Athletics the first time, should it happen again the second time? At least Warren's at home. It's a good spot. Milwaukee's lefty Jose Quintana over 4.5 Ks. Quintana hasn't faced a lineup that strikes out even close to as much as the Rockies do against lefties. Quintana has only gone over 4.5 strikeouts twice this season in 10 starts. And when a book makes a number that high, it tells you something. There have been 14 straight southpaws to go over 4.5 Ks against the Rockies. 14 straight. Southpaws, 14 overs, 8 unders overall this year of their strikeout props. The Rockies averaging just under 7 strikeouts a game against lefties. Jose Quintana, over 4.5 Ks. Lastly, Angels righty Jose Soriano, under 5.5 Ks. Soriano's faced 4 low K rate lineups. He went under 5.5 Ks in 3 of those 4 starts. Righty starters, 37 unders, 22 overs when facing Washington, averaging just over 4 strikeouts a start. 9 of the last 10 righties to start against the Nats went under 5.5 strikeouts. So I like that under there. What about Mets Pitt under 8.5? I don't mind it. I mean, Pittsburgh can't score at home. The Mets might be in a good low spot, and Mitch Keller's been good. Taking Mitch Keller is a choice. He's at home. I wouldn't take him on the road. Acuna did not get a hit. I know. He's going to get one tonight, though, now, because that's just how the laws of betting work. Premier Lacrosse time. So we've got Premier Lacrosse action starting around 9:30 p.m. Eastern time tonight. We've got games today and tomorrow. Totals are 10-6 over under in lacrosse. Underdogs are doing great, 13-3 ATS. Homecoming teams 1-3 straight up and against the spread in game 2. First game tonight, we've got Denver and California. So this one starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. Denver has won 2 straight after starting 0-2, and Cal's coming off a bye. Since last season, Denver's 2-1 against the spread against California. It's the first time in 4 meetings that Cal's favored against Denver. So kind of lean Denver here. That's Kelly in Vegas's bet tonight. She loves Denver tonight. Utah Archers at New York Atlas. I love this play. 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going under. It actually went up to 24.5 on DraftKings. Utah 0-4 against the spread this season, and they've been favored in every game. At 23.5, it's like when it was 23.5 earlier, it's the lowest total in this matchup since 2020, and that game went under. Since 2020, the Atlas are 5-2 straight up, 4-3 against the spread against Utah. Since 2020, the under has hit in 6 of 7 matchups. And I didn't even change the graphic. There's the graphic. So, visual learners, that's for you. PLL props for tonight. So, sorry. Liam Entenmann, over 14.5 saves. He's had at least 15 in 3 of 4 games this year. Last week against a rookie goalie, he had, a rookie goalie last year. Last week, Utah faced a rookie goalie, and that rookie goalie had 17 saves. Since I like the under, and Entenmann's gone over this in 3 of 4, I'll take the over 14.5 saves. Now, these next 2 are very juiced, so it could be a good parlay leg. The Atlas Jeff Teat under 4.5 points. Teat, he popped up on the injury report, so if he goes, he definitely won't be at 100%. He'll be playing a team that's gone 3-1 to the under this year, largely due to their time of possession on offense and their strong defense. Teat's coming off an 8-point performance, but before that, 1, 6, and 1 points. So he's been extremely inconsistent. Plus the injury, under on points for him, and I've seen this drop to 3.5. For California, Dylan Malloy over 2.5 points, also juiced. Again, a good parlay leg if you want it. Malloy's had 4 or more points in every game this season. The number is low because Cal's coming off a bye, so Malloy's not at the top of their mind. He's a legit MVP candidate. That's the main catalyst of this Woods offense. And Malloy scored 3 goals alone in week 1 against Denver, which is 4 total points. So if you want any kind of parlay legs, those last 2 are the ones that you can take a look at. I don't have any propaganda. Oh, batters to watch. Sorry, back to baseball. One more. Boston and Carolina. This is for tomorrow's PLL game. So you've got Boston and Carolina Chaos tomorrow. I just love the Chaos name, but you've got, what did I have here? I just want to remember what I was looking at for this game. Boston, let's see. Okay, since 2021, Carolina's 4-1 straight up and against the spread against Boston. Since 2021, the under's 3-2 in the matchup. 21.5 is the lowest total we've seen between these teams ever. Since 2021, this matchup has averaged under 1 2-pointer per game. And then I think it's worth noting that Blaze Riordan is bouncing, it's a bounce back game. He came off of a terrible game. The way that I would play this is the under 1.5 2-point goals, because that's what they're averaging. 21.5 means it's a very low total, so not many scores expected. The Cannons and the Chaos have only combined for 6 total 2-pointers through 4 weeks. In this matchup, they're averaging just under 1 2-pointer a game since 2020. That's through 5 meetings. Blaze Riordan is the Carolina goalie, and he's coming off a really bad start, but he shouldn't have another bad start again. So going with the under 1.5 2-point goals for tomorrow in Premier Lacrosse League for Boston and Carolina. 5:56. I have 4 minutes till I save. Oh, no, sorry. I keep forgetting. Batters to watch. Gosh, this is why I need a producer. Bo Bichette's got great numbers against Brian Bayo, 5 for 13 with a double. Nick Castellanos, 3 homers and 6 at-bats against Bryce Elder. I love fading Jose Barrios, the Blue Jay starter, on the road. Jaron Duran's got great numbers against him, 476, 5 doubles, and 3 homers. So I'm definitely going to love Duran props tonight if you want any kind of offensive player props. Manny Machado, 4 for 11 with 4 doubles against Nick Martinez. Xander Bogaerts, 5 for 13 with a homer against Martinez. Austin Hedges, 3 for 9 with 2 homers against Sonny Gray. Some unders. Christian Yelich struggles against Kyle Freeland with 2 for 16 and 8 Ks. Mark Semien, 3 for 32 with a homer and 6 Ks against Logan Gilbert. Francisco Lindor, 2 for 13 with 5 walks and 6 Ks against Mitch Keller. Pete Alonso, 0 for 12 with 3 Ks against Mitch Keller. So again, let's go Pirates. Now it's time for my Royal Locks of the day. Best bets, Royal Locks. Here we go. Royal Locks, and I messed this up because I forgot to add my Royal Locks graphic to this. So, Royal Locks of the day. Again, I need a producer. Whoo, I'm feeling frisky tonight, and I'm not even drinking, I don't think. Jose Quintana, over 4.5 Ks. Quintana hasn't faced a team that strikes out this much. That's why you're getting a 4.5. He's only gone over this in 2 of 10 starts, but again, it's the Rockies. The Rockies average just under 7 strikeouts a game against lefties. 14 straight lefties have gone over this number against the Rockies. I'm riding the trend, over 4.5 Ks for Quintana tonight. Then I love this Utah Archers and New York Atlas under. You're looking at a series that's gone under in 6 of the 7 matchups that these two teams have faced off with each other. Under 24.5 is the number on DraftKings. Expecting a low-scoring game here between the Atlas and the Archers. The last time that we saw a number this low was 2020, and that one went under. I'm going under 24.5 for Utah and the New York Atlas. That's it from me, guys, here for Prop Queen Pod on a Friday. Tomorrow I'll be on Last Call from 11 to 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time on Wager Talk. Monday, I'll be back on Money Moves with Stormy Ben and Tony on 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. And, of course, the Prop Queen Pod will be here from 5 to 6 p.m. next week. Make sure, again, always subscribe to the YouTube page at Prop Queen Sports. Whatever it's called, thumbs up on YouTube. It helps a lot when you comment and thumbs up and subscribe. It means a lot to me. Pickett, you can go track all of my bets there over at Pickett Sports. Just use promo code PropQueen when you sign up. I think we'll have some more exciting announcements next week. Prayers up to my agent, JJ, who's been working hard at trying to make sure this show is successful. You guys, you help make it successful. Spread the word. Make sure everyone knows about it. The Prop Queen Pod, the place to come for all your prop betting information when you need action for the night slate. Let's go into Friday hot. Let's go into the weekend hot. We need a good start to the weekend. I need to make some money. I have to go pay for the vet bill that I just had for Marley today because she has, it's a little too much TMI. I'm not going to expose Marley, but she had a little thing today. And now we got to be on antibiotics. It's always a money pit. They always rob you blind just to test some samples. Anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope some of you will tune in to Last Call tomorrow. And if not, I will see you back here on the Prop Queen Pod, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. See you guys. Good luck.